Nightmare Fuel is the definition of AI. It is trash. I mean, absolute garbage. But it is sure as funny to look at when it's used for unserious. I mean, look at the Pope. Drake singing New Jeans. That is disturbing. Now, why am I taking something we all love and making something horrifying? Sheer boredom. I recently saw Tyler's latest video on asking AI to write a fan fiction, so I was like, hey, I really liked your video. I want to do something similar. Let's collab, because I don't want to be a thief. And I came up with the idea, why not kick it a bit further and make the worst webtoon ever with AI? The only thing is we are only using AI for the script, but having an actual artist do some art for it. So, to kick it off, I asked Tyler a general question: what could make a webtoon bad? With this information, we could start formulating and fundamentalizing what we could make and add to make an abysmal comic. I also chimed in myself.
Plot twists for the sake of plot twists, when the background or something just inside the comic is hyper realistic in comparison to the rest of the characters.
Referencing celebrities, dropping too many memes.
When the men are shaped like Doritos, like when the proportions, they make the man so broad, but then they bring him in. So like
Token gay character that is only there for the sole purpose of a punchline. Absolutely hate that.
Any pairing, honestly, when they have like one who's just ginormous and the other one is just super teeny tiny. Too many abs.
Too many.
Listen, I love abs, but just we don't need that many.
Reincarnation. Isekais.
This is where I don't agree. I love a good isekai, but you know, I could see if you're using the isekai though, I will say this, if that's like the only way that you're getting your plot to be like a fantasy genre, then yeah, that's a dumb way to use the isekai.
Color schemes not matching, just all over the place, just no consistency with the art. Furries. To keep going on to add to this list and create a prompt for ChatGPT, I asked what webtoons Tyler did like in hopes of flipping it over and inside out.
My favorites would definitely be Purple Hyacinth, In the Bleak Midwinter, Jackson's Diary, Cursed Princess Club.
I per se love Castle Swimmer, To the Stars and Back, Jackson's Diary as well, stuff like that. What do we like it for?
The fantasy element. Big thing they all have in common is romance.
Why don't we like take that and kind of just like flip it, like do the polar opposite, that like take the attributes that you love it for and kind of just flip it.
I really like a sci-fi, you know, the Princess Southland phase.
Oh yeah.
Like give me that sci-fi twist, you know?
So what is the opposite of sci-fi?
The Old West.
The Old West. So what's the opposite of magic?
What is the opposite of magic? What's like the less cool version of magic? Actual magician? Think like Chris Angel, Mind Freak. Like that's not cool.
At all.
That's the opposite. That's the opposite of the cool magic that we like.
So romance. The polar opposite would be just like they don't like each other.
Yeah, there's like no chemistry. There's zero chemistry, but we force them together.
Exactly.
Should have a crazy build up, like, oh, maybe the magician is gonna be getting better or something, like
perform at like the Super Bowl and just that's not realistic.
Yeah, and then it goes on hiatus.
Right when they're about to tell him no, hiatus. Okay, we'll be back in 3 years.
Typically, you have some connection to the story that you have been isekai'd into. So there should be like a reason that she's like, it was a book she was reading or a show she was watching. Or maybe it was a terrible comic she was reading before she died. Ooh. And now she's been isekai'd into it.
Okay, for no reason, she was just sucked up. But I also want to add a random gay character, a gay token character for no fucking reason. He was isekai'd as well. Halfway through, right? I'm thinking, as this no chemistry relationship really starts to pick up, Terrible Magician is actually gay. Plot twist.
Yeah, like he drinks some water and he just becomes gay. That could actually be part of the magic.
Oh.
The only magic in the story is the magical gay powers of water.
I think this is perfect. I think this is enough to build the story. To the... fuck, how do you do it?
GPT.
To the ChatGPT! After throwing out many likes and dislikes, we created the ideal submission for ChatGPT to work with, and thus, Dorito Magic Wild Romance was born. Literally, that was the generated title. A summary was born. Cue the Shy Chef reading.
Once upon a time, in the Old West, there was a terrible magician named Chip, who was known for his cheesy magic and Dorito physique. Despite his lack of talent, he was determined to make it big in the magic industry. Chip's main audience was children, and he would perform at birthday parties and local fairs. His performances were often met with disappointment and ridicule, but Chip was undeterred. Meanwhile, in a far-off land, Regina George had moved on from her high school days and was living a happy life. However, her friend Gretchen was feeling unfulfilled fulfilled and bored with her mundane existence. One day, while watching TV, Gretchen was suddenly isekai'd into the Old West and stumbled upon one of Chip's performances. The two of them immediately disliked each other, and there was no chemistry between them whatsoever. But as time passed, the unlikely pair began to develop feelings for one another. However, Chip's dream of performing at the Super Bowl got in the way of their romance. He worked tirelessly to perfect his terrible magic tricks and impress the agent who could make his dreams reality. But just as he was about to seal the deal, a flamboyant gay man from Broadway swept in and stole the agent's attention. As Chip drank a glass of water that he infused with his terrible magic, the water suddenly turned gay, and he found himself attracted to the gay man from Broadway. Despite Gretchen's feelings for Chip, she realized that he was in love with the gay man from Broadway. But there was something dark and mysterious about Gretchen that no one knew. She was a murderer. The story ends on a cliffhanger, as Chip's dreams of performing at the Super Bowl are put on hold. Note, the story is on hiatus until further notice.
But to really make this a comic, we generated dialogue, and I work closely with my artist.
We have to make the worst possible comic ever.
How bad are we talking?
So bad, like, I don't even know.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it. I'm just gonna look at this and think that, you know, that's a true reflection of us, right?
Yeah, it's not a
just
true
gonna look
reflection
at
of
that,
your art.
you know, it just progressively, like, crumbles apart.
Yeah, and then, like, instead of, like, actual backgrounds, we'll just take, like, Adobe stock photos that are, like, hyper. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna be a fucking nightmare.
And created the worst comic ever.
And now, for my next trick, I will pull a rabbit out of this hat. Are you ready, kids?
Woo! Yay! This is so boring. I wish something exciting would happen. Whoa. What the? Where am I? I guess this is the isekai.
The hyper-realistic street behind her. Oh my god, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, for my grand finale, I will make myself disappear. Abracadabra!
Whoa. Wow, that was terrible. You call that magic?
Excuse me? I happen to be a very talented magician.
Talented? More like talentless. I've seen better tricks from a 5-year-old.
You have no idea what you're talking about. My magic is amazing.
Chip, I have something to tell you. I'm a murderer.
What? How could you keep something like that from me?
As you can see, the art style changed. I didn't want to scare you off, but I had to tell you the truth.
I don't know what to say. This changes everything.
Hello, darling. I couldn't help but notice your fabulous talent. I have an agent who would love to represent you.
Really? That's amazing.
Here we go again. Oh, don't mind her. She's just jealous of our fabulousness. Why is that character so, like, he's drawn so fucking well out of all of them?
Why is he everything? The board this way? I can't. Oh my god.
But I thought we had something special. Don't you feel the same way?
I don't know. Things are just so complicated right now. Do not steal.
We'll be back.
Please tell me this is actually going on Webtoon. Oh my god, well, we succeeded. That was the worst thing I've ever read.
I didn't get to see the gay water.
Chip never magically turned gay in the comic version. It's okay. We have to, you have to shorten it.
Who's your favorite character?
Oh my god, the Broadway man. 100%.
Same.
No, he really did it. Just the way he appeared, and there's always a rainbow. And he's really confident. I really feel that too. And the way you don't even know where he came from, he just isekai'd it.
Yeah, like he was isekai, but like we didn't even see him isekai. It's just like, oh, okay.
And I also love that idea too, where suddenly she's like, but I still love you. And he's like, this changes everything. But then they never talk about it again.
And just gloss over the fact she's a murderer.
I like how she came clean though. That was very big of her.
I mean, would she even be able to go to jail if she like confessed? Like,
she was murdering people in her past life.
Did she murder people in her current day before she was isekai or when she was isekai? That's a big question.